following is an exclusive presentation of Walmart Digital and One Radio Square Sports. It's time for Lovington Wildcat basketball from Walmart Digital, One Radio Square Sports, and Z94 KZOR Hobbs Lovington. Tonight's game is brought to you by Bob's Thriftway, the Lea County Electric Cooperative, Lovington Auto Supply Napa, General Welding Supply, the First American Bank of Lovington, the Lovington Schools. Wildcat basketball also brought to you by Empire Services, the Knoll Pharmacy, and Devon Energy. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Wildcat Gym. Whether you're listening on Z94 KZOR, the Z94 KZOR app, OneRadiosquare.com, or whether you're watching at the Lovington Sports YouTube channel or at the Lovington Sports tab at HobbsAmerica.com, wherever, whenever, however you're with us tonight, we certainly do appreciate it. Alongside Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle as our first Cat broadcast of the season for the boys. They had kind of a rough go of it the other night as they traveled to Roswell and didn't have such a great game. 81-48 the final in that one, so they fall to 0-1, but the season doesn't get any easier tonight as they welcome the Hobbs Eagles, who are 2-0 to here at Wildcat Gym.
Right. And, of course, Lovington, all of these athletes are just bouncing from sport to sport, overlaps. There are a few athletes on the basketball team who played football for Lovington, so we definitely, acknowledge the kind of athletes that these guys and gals have to be in order to make all this work. I know that they're just happy to play even these condensed seasons, but man, it puts a lot of strain on everybody with these quick games. These teams are accustomed to 2 games a week normally in basketball season, and now they're playing 4 and occasionally 5 games a week, and that's amazing.
Yeah, they are playing an awful lot of games. And, I saw Coach Casey Pack last week after one of the volleyball games, was when you were doing the Hobbs game, ran into him in the parking lot, and he said, it's going to be a rough early season because it's going to take me a while to get these kids in basketball shape because, you mentioned, a lot of the kids playing football.
Sure.
Jared Jeffrey, Isaac Henson, Adam Aguilera, Tayton Hilliard, Javier Contreras. Sound familiar?
Yeah.
Damian Ortiz, Matthew Olivas, all of them football players. And so Coach Pack, he was honest. He said, it's going to take me a while to get them in basketball shape, even though they're in great shape.
Right.
Basketball shape and football shape are 2 completely different animals and completely different sports. If you hit somebody in football, it's generally a good thing. If you hit them in basketball, it's a foul.
Yeah, it's a foul. And, these kids are a little bit banged up and bunged up, just from having to do double duty with workouts and practices and different sports and games and certainly physical. So Lovington football, so physical. And congrats again to the Lovington football team, of course, for its big, season and bowl-winning end of the season. And some of those guys are carrying that confidence and momentum, even though it's a different sport, into, this basketball arena. So I think once they kind of get their heads, all in 100% to basketball, and they kind of shift gears and finish doing that, then they're going to come together a little bit more and see a better showing than they had in that first game.
Well, I certainly think that they will. Of course, a hard test against the Hobbs Eagles, of course, one of the perennial powers in the big school division here in the land of enchantment. They are 2-0 on the season. Coach Shelby Reeves, of course, longtime player and then assistant, been the head coach. I believe this is his 3rd year as the head man now, and he's really brought back more of the run and gun Hobbs Eagle style. And, we've talked a lot to Coach Reeves over the years at the station, and we've covered Hobbs basketball as well over the years. And, he wants to run and gun. He wants to get 100 on the board every single time out, and he thinks he's got the athletes this year to do it. So going to be important for Lovington to break the press, slow it down, and control the tempo of this game. Easier said than done, though.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Easy for us to say, and a lot harder for these 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old student athletes, to pull off. So, kudos to their efforts. And, of course, we're going to be watching tonight. You know that the Eagles are going to bring that press. You know that Lovington also plays that style of basketball as well. So that's not foreign to them, although the quick pace and that relentless pace that Hobbs can put on you it does exactly what it's designed to do. It wears you down a lot of times. And so these guys have really got to be sharp against Hobbs and bring all of that attitude as well as the conditioning to the court today. And we also want to say, speaking of different sports, we want to say congratulations to the Lovington soccer boys who just won, and it was again down to the wire, exciting victory, moving them into the state championship for 4A soccer.
Yeah, that's right. Earlier, right here on the Lovington Sports YouTube channel and the Lovington tab at HobbsAmerica.com, Patrick Alexander just down the street a little bit at Wildcat Stadium, a 2-1 victory over Hope Christian, and coming on an extra time penalty kick to get the 2-1 win and to punch their ticket on into the finals. The Hobbs Eagle soccer team also playing earlier on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel and the Hobbs tab at HobbsAmerica.com, falling 1-0 in a heartbreaker for that one.
Oh.
Apparently it got a little rough late in that game. Heard part of Brian Coltrane's call on that when we were coming up here. But still a good season for the Hobbs soccer team getting into the semifinals, and the Lovington boys soccer team, congratulations to them. They'll play for a state championship at UNM on Saturday. So again, congratulations to them. We will have the audio of that game on these streams. It'll be exclusively at HobbsAmerica.com. We can't do audio only the way our YouTube channel is set up, but Patrick will have the soccer audio only. We are not allowed to video the soccer game due to NMAA media rights and being awarded to someone else for the championships. But we will have the audio of the soccer game on Saturday. So just a quick programming note, if you will.
All right, so something to look forward to as well this weekend, as well as more basketball, boys and girls. I mean, it is in high gear because the basketball season really only runs through the end of April, and then that first week of May is going to be state tournament.
Yeah, and baseball and softball start right in the next week, as a matter of fact.
Right.
So we are going to be busy for the next 2.5 months, to be sure. But that's okay. We like to be busy. And we also like the good folks who make it possible for us to bring you Lovington Wildcat sports across all of our distribution points now, including the radio and the audio streams and the video streams too. Couldn't do it without Knoll Pharmacy, Empire Services, Devon Energy, the Lovington Schools, First American Bank of Lovington, General Welding Supply, the Lea County Electric Cooperative, also Lovington Auto Supply, your local Napa store, and Bob's Thriftway, making it possible for us to bring you all of the Lovington sports. Of course, you are listening to the Wildcats here on Z94 KZOR Hobbs Lovington, the Z94 KZOR app, the Z94 Listen Live link at at OneRadiosquare.com. There we go. And also, of course, watching live tonight on the Lovington Sports YouTube channel. Tell your friends, give us a subscription. We'd appreciate that. And also through the Lovington tab at HobbsAmerica.com. I think I got them all in there.
Right.
Plus, there's also the Boxcast app if you have a Roku TV. So you can watch YouTube on your smart TV or on your cable system if it is YouTube enabled. I know TDS is because we get it at our house.
Sure.
And, of course, the smart TVs, you can also download the Boxcast app, and it's available there, too, on your smart TVs. We're just making sure you can watch it, listen to it, see it, however you can. A good crowd here tonight. We are at COVID capacity, even in the turquoise level. As the teams come out on the floor, we will take a timeout, come back with the tip-off. This is Wildcat Basketball on Z94 KZOR. Back here at Wildcat Gym, getting ready for the start of the Lea County Battle this year between the Hobbs Eagles and the Lovington Wildcats. The Eagles are wearing the road blacks with the white letters and numbers. For your Lovington Wildcats, they're in the home whites with the Lovington blue letters and numbers. Alongside Don Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle, Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing tonight. As it's going to get a little loud in here, even at diminished capacity.
Right. We have a lot. We're on the mezzanine level, and normally we're up here by ourselves, but
yes,
the stands are down behind us. All the bleachers are down, and they're as full as they're allowed to be. So these people are loud. A lot of them are Hobbs fans. So you're going to hear a lot of them come through our mics tonight.
I was going to say it's probably about a 50-50 split on this. Of course,
so.
A few more for Lovington. But I think Hobbs brought everybody they were allowed to. So.
Downstairs, there certainly are a lot more Lovington and then some Lovington up here. But most of the vocal that you're hearing right now, especially, is Hobbs.
Starting five for your Wildcats: number 3, Kobe Sandoval; number 4, Jared Jeffrey; number 5, Isaac Henson; number 10, Adam Aguilera; and number 11, Tayton Hilliard. Starters for the visiting Eagles tonight: number 10, Michael Mackey; number 14, Isaiah Lewis; number 30, Jalen Gore; number 34, Katray Morgan; and number 42, Ethan Van Landingham. As, of course, the opening tip belongs to Lovington, but it is immediately knocked out, and it'll be a turnover just like that, and it'll be Hobbs basketball. No jump balls, of course, in COVID world, as the inbound comes in quickly to actually Aaron Mora, who gets the start, and Hobbs quickly up 2-0. Full court press is on for the Hobbs Eagles. In the backcourt, it'll be Hilliard. Hilliard, a little stop and go, gives it to Aguilera. Comes up the near side, drives into the lane, kicks it into the left corner. Henson for 3 on the way. Off the front of the iron, no good. Fight for the rebound, and it is going to be controlled by Morgan. He feeds it back up to Gore, who will just work it around to a cutting player inside as Mackey puts up a wild shot, but he is fouled. He'll head to the line for 2. Hobbs up early here, 2-0. And they are going to call the foul on Adam Aguilera, his first team foul on the Cats, and it'll be Mackey at the line. Welcome to Wildcat Gym. As Mackey will toe the stripe, puts the right foot on the line, left foot slightly back, and the first one is up and gets the roll over the front of the iron. It is good, 3-0. Hobbs up 35 seconds into this one.
We knew this would be fast-paced. We knew there'd be a lot of scoring, and it hasn't disappointed.
Second shot is up, and Mackey is in the books. He is 2 for 2. Full court press is on once again as Hilliard looks to get it in, and he will throw it, but out of the reach of Aguilera, and the Cats have 2 quick turnovers here in the first 30-plus seconds of the ballgame. It'll be Hobbs basketball on the near sideline as it'll be Lewis to inbound, and they're going to move him over to the end line underneath the Hobbs offensive basket. Now Lewis looks to get it in. Lovington pressuring as well. They'll get it into Gore, almost stolen away. Hilliard, nice job, but Gore from NBA range, 3 on the way. That one won't fall. Rebound is loose on the floor, and finally coming away with it is Sandoval, the senior, for the Wildcats. Sandoval with Morgan on him, very tight, and it'll go out of bounds. And it'll go over to Hobbs, who has pretty much been living in the Lovington defensive zone. 4-0, Hobbs in the lead as they'll toss it in, and Mora just goes up over Jeffrey on everybody. A little hook shot, no good. Fight for the rebound, and we will have a whistle, a foul on the rebound. Question is, who's it going to be on? And they're going to say it's on Lovington, and somebody will get a 2-shot foul. That's Morgan going to the line, and so it will be a push foul going to be called on Jeffrey. Jared's first personal, second team foul, and Katray Morgan at the line for 2. Lovington just having all kinds of fits here in the first minute with the Hobbs Eagle press. Morgan's first is up, and it is in and out, no good. So the first thing that hasn't gone Hobbs' way tonight.
And there was a basket, but it did not count because the whistle had already been fouled. So the score remains 4-0 right now.
Second shot on the way for Morgan, and that one is in and out. Won't fall, but the rebound by Lewis, and his putback will fall. Lewis in the books. And it is 6-0. Lovington has got to figure something out quickly. Full court press is on as Henson tries to get it in. Finally will to Aguilera. Aguilera works against Morgan and will turn on the Jets, get it across the timeline. Lovington will set up in the offensive zone. Sandoval getting trapped up in front of the Hobbs bench. Moves around, gets it to Hilliard. 3 on the way. Bang! That's the way you bring it back. Tayton Hilliard gets Lovington in the books. It's 6-3 as the lead is cut in half. Lovington drops back in defense as Gore drives in. Gives it off to Moore in the left corner, top of the arc. Back to Lewis. As Lewis directs traffic. Sandoval on him very tight to Morgan in the right wing, back to the top of the arc with Morgan to Lewis on a little give and go to Mora. His shot is up, it won't fall. Ball is loose on the near court, and it'll be saved by Aguilera, but throws it right into the hands of a waiting Lewis. Ball is going to be on the floor, and they're going to call jump ball. And possession arrow goes to the Wildcats. That'll be the first turnover for Hobbs.
And some pretty good defense by Lovington there. They managed to get that ball away and then turned it right back over. But good defensive pressure as Lovington, of course, is trying to match that Hobbs press.
And Lovington going with a little more size out there as Damian Ortiz will check in for the Cats. And timeout going to be taken by Coach Casey Pack. 7:06 remaining in the first quarter. It's Hobbs 6, Lovington 3. We're back in 30 on Z94 KZOR. Out of the Lovington timeout, Hobbs leading this one early, 6-3. Lovington basketball. Hilliard in the backcourt to Aguilera. Aguilera with Gore on him very tight. Gets it into the front court, gets a screen from Ortiz. Takes it to the free throw line to Hilliard. Now to the left corner, Sandoval for three. And bang! Kobe Sandoval. Welcome back to the hardwood, young man, and we are tied at 6. Lovington will drop back in a 1-2-2. Zone look as Gore brings it across the timeline to Mora in the left arc to a cutting backdoor runner up for one of the Hobbs Eagles, and no good. That was Morgan, and he is fouled. Actually, that was Lewis, and he'll go to the line for 2, and we're going to have a push foul called. Going to whistle that one on Henson, his first personal third-team foul.
Although Lovington showing good hustle and tight defense, they're going to have to watch trying to guard so closely and making fouls in the lane, especially going up to try to, block those shots and get the rebounds.
First shot for Lewis is up and no good, so we stay tied at 6.
Oh.
There's one thing on the Hobbs squad the last couple of years. They've only been about 50-50 from the charity stripe. Second shot on the way for Lewis, and that one is going to clank off the front of the iron. Fight for the rebound, will go out of bounds, and they're going to say last touched by Damian Ortiz.
Yep.
So it'll stay Hobbs basketball. 6:34 remaining in the first. Lewis will inbound it to Morgan, throws it inside, almost picked off, and it will be picked off. And coming back the other way is Aguilera. Weaves through traffic, goes to the right base, puts up a wild push shot, no good. And the rebound by Mackey. And a quick foul going to be called on Lovington. Or nope, they're going to call it on Hobbs. It'll be their first foul, so it'll be a push foul called. It'll put Aguilera at the line. A little hard to hear as they whistle that one on Kadre Morgan, his first personal first-team foul. Aguilera puts up his first, and it is good. And the Lovington Wildcats have got a 7-6 lead here early. They're going to drop Ortiz back along with Sandoval. Have Henson and Hilliard in the rebounding blocks. Aguilera eyes his second, puts it up. That one is off the front of the iron, no good, and the rebound going to be made by Mora. Aaron Mora tough, but immediately stolen away by the Wildcats. So back to Hilliard, to Sandoval, right corner, drives on the base, kicks it over, left corner for Henson, 3, and that one is in and out, not going to fall, and going to the floor is Mora, and they're going to call Ortiz for the foul.
Wow, and I think he was standing over him, but even he was a little surprised at the call, but Lovington faithful don't like it. Hobbs is happy with it.
So it'll go over to Hobbs on the foul. It was theirs anyway.
And that was Henson, I believe, who stole the ball away earlier that led to the look at the basket that Lovington did not make.
As Kadre Morgan limps off the court, checking in his place for Hobbs will be Jesus Ramos. As Gore will take the inbound, he'll cross the timeline as Lovington drops back into a half-court defense. Tamora in the left corner. Ortiz on him very tight. Drives it just inside the free throw line, puts up a wild shot, no good, and the rebound by Hilliard. Hilliard will just underhand it over to the far sideline. Get it to Aguilera, who runs the point for the Cats. Brings it across the timeline. Back to Henson and to Hilliard. To Aguilera, needs a little help on him. Very tight is Mackey. Underhand it over to Hilliard. As Ortiz puts a body block into his man and going hard to the net, and a foul going to be called as that is Henson, will head to the line for 2. Hilliard, pardon me, I'm gonna get my names right eventually, I promise. I'm used to seeing them in football uniforms.
That's true.
It's Hilliard at the line for 2.
They do both start with H.
And the foul going to be whistled. Let's see. As they still haven't put it up. It will be a 2-shot foul. They're going to whistle that one on Mackey, his first personal. So at the line, it'll be Hilliard. Already got 3 points and make it 4 as he banks it off the glass. And Lovington up 8-6. I think maybe Hobbs came in thinking they were just going to run everybody out of the gym here. Didn't happen. Matthew Olivas will check in for the Wildcats. Hilliard at the line, made his first. He's got 4 points, leads all scorers. Bends the knees, skies it, puts the second one up. That no good, but in the hands of Sandoval. Sandoval backing out in front of the Hobbs Eagle bench on the far sideline as he works against Ross. To the free throw line, uses up the dribble. Toss it around to Aguilera in the left wing. He'll circle it around. On him very tight is Ramos. Still on him as he takes it to the right corner. And going hard to the floor. And no foul. It'll go over to Hobbs as Aguilera got a little tangled up, tripped over his feet, and falls out of bounds. 5th turnover for the Wildcats, but they lead 8-6. As it'll be Mackey to run the point for the Eagles, brings it into the front court. The 2-10s battle with Aguilera on Mackey. Mackey directs traffic, takes it to the right base, drives in, no look pass, trying to get a man in the left corner, was looking for Miller and throws it away. That'll be the 4th turnover for the Hobbs Eagles. Coach Shelby Reeves for Hobbs is up barking at his squad. Lovington basketball, as it'll be
with a
Sandoval to inbound.
With a 2-point lead, 8-6. Lovington up in this one.
4:59 to go here in the first. So Sandoval looking for somebody to break free. He gets Hilliard in the backcourt. He'll work it around against Mackey, still in the backcourt. They need to move it forward to Sandoval, who gets a little screen, gives him some room, takes it in to the left wing, and he'll back it out, working against Mackey. Gore will come out and guard Hilliard near the cat as they work between the rings. Still directing traffic, 4:40 to go, a 2-point lead for the Cats. Screen set up by a new man in the game. That's Villalobos for the Cats. So get it back over to Sandoval. Sandoval works on Ross to the left corner for Villalobos to a cutting. Hilliard goes in the left paint, puts it up, no good, and manages to save the basketball as it was going out. I don't know how he kept his feet off the floor out of bounds, but he will throw it off of Jaden Miller, and it'll stay Lovington basketball. 4:21 remaining in the first. Lovington up 8-6. Sandoval to inbound from left of his own basket. Miller guards him to Hilliard at the free throw line. Now over to Olivas. Olivas back to Hilliard between the rings to Jeffrey in the paint. Loses the handle on the basketball. 6th turnover for Lovington. Hobbs, though, not able to get into the run and gun offense, as it'll be Ramos into the front court, takes it coast to coast and lays it up and in. Ramos, his first points of the ball game, and we are tied at 8 halfway through the quarter as Villalobos takes the touchdown pass, gets it into the front court, and we'll have a push foul called as going to the floor is Villalobos. They're going to whistle that one on Ramos, his first personal. 3rd team foul is on the floor, but it'll stay Lovington basketball. The Hobbs faithful and the Hobbs coaching staff not liking the call particularly. Coach Casey Pack liking it, but letting Kobe Sandoval know there was something that he saw and needed to see. Villalobos to inbound from in front of the Hobbs bench into the backcourt to Aguilera, who checks back into the ball game. He works against Tyler Box. Into the front court near side comes Aguilera. Aguilera top of the arc, uses up his dribble. Tosses to Villalobos in front of the Hobbs bench. Right side, he'll cycle around to the free throw line, give it to Jeffrey. Drives into the lane, puts up a little sky hook, won't fall, but Jared will head to the line for 2.
Yeah, that was a nice move inside. Jared cut into the paint right in front of the basket and put up a little sky hook. It fell short, but he did get up and managed to draw the foul. So maybe he can get the 2 the old-fashioned way.
And let's see, they're going to whistle that one on Jaden Miller, his first personal, 4th team foul. So Jeffrey at the line for 2, his first trip to the stripe, and he will get the shooter's roll to go. Now Jeffrey running out of the power forward position. At the line, makes the first and gives Lovington back the lead, 9-8 with 3:37 to go as Damian Ortiz checks back into the ball game. So Jeffrey at the line. Again, 9-8, Lovington in the lead.
3:37 left in this first quarter. Fast-moving one.
Second shot on the way for Jeffrey. That one won't fall, and the rebound going to be made by Ramos, his first. He'll take it himself, drives it in, and he is going to collide with a man, and it'll be a charge.
Whoa.
As Damian Ortiz goes in a collision with Jesus Ramos, so it'll be a turnover for Hobbs. Ramos' second personal, and Hobbs is just 2 away from putting Lovington in the bonus on the charge.
Wow, and a lot of fouling early on. I think that's indicative of both sides really a tight defense and really pressing.
I think so. Isaac Henson to inbound it for your Lovington Wildcats.
Yeah, they're banging off each other just a little bit much early on, just with excitement.
Oh, Henson will get it in, and that one will be stolen away. 7th turnover as they'll feed it inside and then underneath, and a little pop shot up and put up no good by Badasil. Gets a rebound. The putback won't fall, but he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2.
And, you know, both teams have had a lot of misses. They've had a lot of looks at the basket, and they've been doing their share of missing. So I think that
it's going to be on Aguilera, his second personal, 5th team foul on Lovington. Badasil at the line for 2. 9-8, Lovington in the lead. 3:25 remaining in the first quarter as Badasil makes his first, and we're tied at 9. A Lea County battle. You can always throw the record and what you think's going to happen out when these two teams hit the hardwood together. Second shot on the way. Badasil in and out, no good, and the rebound going to be made by Jeffrey, his first. Jared will give it off to Aguilera into the front court for Villalobos. Thinks about the 3, and then a bad pass. Took one too many passes, and back the other way come the Eagles. To Mackey, who goes in and gets the charge is called. Somehow getting in and setting the feet was Adam Aguilera. So that'll turn it over on Hobbs, and it'll give Mackey his second personal, and Lovington now in the bonus.
Oh, the Hobbs fans are not happy about 2 charge calls in a row against the Eagles.
So Jeffrey to inbound from underneath his own bucket. Badasil will be on him. Hobbs in the full court press as Aaron Mora checks back into the ball game. He'll head in for Miller. 3:11 to go, tied at 9. Jeffrey will get it to Aguilera in the deep right corner in the backcourt. Adam, shake and bake into the front court. Will give it off to Henson. Back out to Adam between the rings as he'll move it from the right, left to the right. Now over to Sandoval, NBA 3 right. Wing it, bang! Kobe Sandoval found the range and drained it. 12-9 in favor of Lovington. Under 3 to go in the first. As Gore will bring it up for the Eagles. Set a screen by Badasil, and Gore will just take it hard to the hoop. It won't fall. A rebound going to be made by Lewis, and he is fouled, so on the putback, so he'll go to the line for 2.
That looked like Damian Ortiz.
And it will be Ortiz. That'll be
yes.
his second personal, 16 foul. And so now Hobbs is going to be in the bonus from here on out. We're going to see a lot of free throws through the next 10 minutes and 41 seconds of clock time, I have a feeling.
Yeah, both these teams, you know, they're just they're quick. They're both. Lovington's trying to match the speed, the quick, and the press, and they're kind of just banging off of each other just a little bit down there.
Trey Morgan, I said Lewis. It's Morgan. As his first is up, and that one's good. He's now 1 of 3 from the charity stripe, 12-10. As back into the game will be Hilliard for the Cats. So Morgan at the line, made his first, and cuts into the Wildcat lead. Morgan eyes it, skies it, and gets them both. So it's now 12-11 in favor of Lovington. Of course, the press is on to Sandoval from Hilliard. Little crossover by Kobe as he'll turn on the Jets. Gets it into the offensive zone for the Wildcats. Takes it to the right base, 10-foot jumper, no good, but he is fouled. He'll go to the line for 2. At the rate they're fouling, there's not going to be anybody left to play this game by midway through the third quarter.
Yeah. You know, I like the fact that Lovington is not shy about shooting, and they're taking shots from all over the court. They're taking shots outside, three-point range. They're moving in underneath the hoop, and they're getting a lot of looks.
Kobe's first is up and bank it home. He's got 7, leads the way for the Wildcats. As Henson will check out. Checking in his place will be Contreras. Jaime Contreras seen his first action. Sandoval at the line, made the first, makes them both. He's got 8 points of the Cats, 14 here in the quarter. Now the inbound will come to Gore, who will set up the offense. Gets the screen from Mora, and he'll drive it on the left wing. Puts up a shot, no good. Fight for the rebound, and comes back to Gore. He gets it and banks it off the glass. It's good. His first rebound, his first points of the ball game for the junior point guard for the Eagles. Back to the senior point guard, Sandoval, who brings it up against Morgan. Over top of the arc to Hilliard. Out to the left wing. 3 on the way. Contreras off the front of the iron, and the rebound by Gore, his second. Gore to a breaking Mora, who has a full look at the basket, and it'll be up and in. Aaron Mora's got 4 points. Now back the other way. They can give as good as they can take, and Damian Ortiz will lay it up and in. 16-15, Lovington in the lead. Back down, Gore to the left base. Circles it to the deep left corner. Is picking him up. Now he'll turn around. NBA 3 on the way, and that's good. No look trade. Bang. Credit where credit is due. That was impressive. 18-16, Hobbs up by 2. Jeffrey NBA 3, left wing. That one is in and out. Fight for the rebound. It is loose on the floor, and it's going to be controlled by Aaron Mora. Mora gives it off to Gore, who brings it into the front court. Buck 21 to go, and a fast-moving first. Exciting first. 18-16, Hobbs in the lead. Hilliard gets a screen as Gore gets his pocket picked. It's on the floor. Sandoval will get it. He gets it forward to a breaking Hilliard, and he will lay it off the right glass and up and in. Tayton Hilliard now with 6 points, and we're tied at 18 with a buck to go, and a whistle sounds. Coach Shelby Reeves wants to talk about it. 18-all with 1 minute remaining in the first. This is a wild one. Don't go anywhere. This is Wildcat basketball on Z94. Out of the Hobbs Eagle timeout, all tied at 18, under a minute to go as the inbound will come to Gore. He takes it into the paint, and he'll do a little underhand scoop shot, and a block going to be called on Jeffrey. That'll be his second personal, 7th team foul on the Wildcats, and it'll put Jalen Gore, the junior point guard, at the line. He's got 5.
Both teams doing quite a bit of fouling. Both teams are not rebounding at the same level. I've been noticing that even though Lovington has been doing a pretty good job cleaning up the glass defensively, they really are not giving themselves some second and third looks.
Shot up for Gore, and that one is good. He makes the first.
So Lovington needs to do a little bit better job of offensive rebounding, because they're going to need, if their first shots are not going on against Hobbs, they're going to need those second and third looks sometimes.
Second shot, Gore will get them both, as he's now got 7 points, leads the way for the Eagles. Checking in will be Michael Caldillo for the Wildcats. So he'll check in for Jeffrey. It'll be Sandoval to inbound against Mora. An old comic reference. That's a Mutt and Jeff look there. And a bad pass as it got in, and it'll be a turnover for Lovington, but stolen right back by Sandoval. Kobe takes it into the front court. NBA 3 right wing, and then bang! Woo. 3 trays in the first. He's got 11 points, and Wildcat country goes crazy. 21-20 in favor of Lovington.
And some great three-point shooting by the Wildcats.
Indeed, as Lewis to the top of the arc, where he works against Henson, almost loses the handle on the basketball. Knocked away by Contreras, but Lewis will get it back. Lewis controls, and it will be knocked away that time, and it was off of the hands of
Contreras.
Javier. No, they're going to say that he got it off of Lewis, and so that'll be the 9th turnover for Hobbs. Both teams with 9 turnovers. So it'll be Hilliard into the front court for the Wildcats. 15 seconds to go. Sandoval takes it to the right base, tries to get a block there from Olivas. Doesn't quite work like they planned it. With 5 seconds to go. To Contreras and a bad pass, and that is turnover number 10. For Lovington, so 2.7 seconds to go.
In a tight game like this, you can't afford silly mistakes like that. You've got to make sharp, crisp passes that you know are going to be good.
Yes, you do, as Lovington will drop back in a man zone look. As Gore will take it into the front court with one, loses the handle, puts it up from half court at the buzzer, and that one is no good. We have played a quarter, and Lovington leads Hobbs 21-20. We are back in a minute on Z94 KZOR. back here at Wildcat Gym. 21-20, Lovington in the lead in the Battle of Lea County against the Hobbs Eagles. With Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle, Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing tonight. Great to have you with us all over southeast New Mexico on Z94 KZOR and around the world on the Z94 app and watching around the world from the Lovington Sports YouTube channel. Please give us a subscription, tell your friends, and also on the Lovington Sports tab at HobbsAmerica.com. So I believe it will be Hobbs basketball. Yes, it will be as we start the second quarter. Starting five out for the Cats: Sandoval, Jeffrey, Henson, Aguilera, and Hilliard. For Hobbs, it will be Miller, Gore. Also out there is Box, Ross. And we'll pick the other one up. Miller to the free throw line. Puts up a little jump shot, and it is good. Jaden Miller from 15. 22-21. Hobbs takes the early lead in the second quarter. Presses on as Box working over Aguilera in the backcourt. Adam backs up, takes another run at it, gets it in, uses up his dribble, gives it to Hilliard. Splits the defense, goes left corner for Henson for three, and bang! Isaac Henson! Welcome to the scorebook, young man. 24-22, Lovington in the lead.
Wow, a lot of three-pointers. Lovington doing well in the shooting on that.
Yes, they are. NBA three for Gore on the way, and that one's good! Gore putting on a display. He's got 10. 25-24 as the bounce pass to Aguilera in the front court. Goes through the lane and going to be blocked. As he went up, and no way he was getting over Banasil. Gore from the right wing for three. That one is going to be too hard. And the rebound by Hilliard. So Lovington will start it back. Catching my breath to the left corner. Henson thinks about the three, thinks better of it. Now drives into the lane, puts up a left-hand shot, no good. The rebound by Jeffrey. His putback no good, and the rebound by Ross, his first. Ross will bring it into the front court, gets his pocket picked, but nobody controls it. It'll go out of bounds. It'll stay Hobbs basketball. Good hustle by Sandoval getting back, but could not control it as Ortiz will check in for Jeffrey.
This is a fast-paced thriller with a three-point shooting exhibition on display.
25-24, Hobbs in the lead. A back-and-forth battle. Ortiz going to face off against Mora. Clash of the Titans under there as Gore will get it. Hilliard picks him up. From the left wing, three on the way, no good, but right there to clean it up is Mora. He will get the putback after the first rebound by Morgan. So 27-24, three-point lead for the Hobbs Eagles. Aguilera will just walk it in as Hobbs drops back into a zone. Now they'll switch over to man as Aguilera works it to Sandoval. Picking him up is Miller. Setting the screen is Hilliard. Top of the arc for three, and bang! Fourth tray of the ball game! Kobe Sandoval. 27-all with 6:10 in the first half. And an NBA three on the way for number 32 as Tyler Box drains it. 30-27. We're almost into Xbox and PlayStation mode here.
Lovington,
As a bad dribble, and it'll be a turnover for the Cats. Picked up by Box. He takes it up, the turnover, and will lay it up and in. Tyler Box with 5.
Lovington's got to answer right away. They can't let Hobbs dig them into a hole.
32-27, 5.5 to go in the first. Aguilera from the right block puts up a little push shot, no good. Gets his own rebound, weaves through traffic and puts it up and in. Adam Aguilera with 3 points. 32-29, a three-point Hobbs Eagle lead. 5:20 remaining here in the first half. Gore in front of the Lovington section. Takes it up from 15, puts up a wild shot, no good, and the rebound going to be made by Ortiz, his first. To Hilliard, throws the Hail Mary down to Henson. Henson back to Hilliard, drives in, almost loses the handle, he'll get into the corner. Henson for three, bang! Isaac Henson, his second tray of the ball game, and we are tied at 32. Back down come the Eagles to Box on the left side, and he is going to get fouled as the reach-in on Adam Aguilera, his third personal 18 foul, and it'll send Box to the line for the 1-and-1.
We thought these Lovington guys were playing good football. Somebody was practicing basketball on the side quite a bit, too.
Must have
Wow.
been.
Some great shooting. Again, Lovington, nice boards when they're working on defense, but they've really got to set themselves up and get them more looks offensively.
And it will be the 1-and-1. And I'm not quite sure why Trey Morgan's going to the line for the 1-and-1. He was not the man who drove it in. It should be somebody else's shots there.
And 20 is going to come out. That's going to be
as it'll be Box. Yeah, I thought it was Box who was going to get to come back in.
Ramos went out, and I didn't see. Was it Lewis who came in for?
I think so. So it'll put Box at the line for the 1-1. His first trip to the line tonight. All tied at 32. No, Box puts up the first, and that one is no good, but the rebound is going to be made by Morgan, but it is going to be stripped away, and then he goes hard to the floor as he and Ortiz and Sandoval all battling together underneath, and it will be on Ortiz, his third personal, 9th team foul, and so now it'll put Katre Morgan at the line.
That hurts. Damian has been a pretty good force down there for Lovington, and you think that he's probably going to have to come out and sit on the bench for a while with 3 fouls on him. Morgan
is now 3 of 5 from the charity stripe. He's got 3 points and puts Hobbs back in the lead, 33-32. Michael Caudillo check in for your Wildcats. As you have your right, Ortiz going to have to head to the bench with 3 fouls. Getting ready to check in for Lovington. Matthew Olivas, second shot is up, and that one will roll home for Morgan. He's got 4 points, 34-32. 4:47 to go here in the first, as checking in will be Olivas. And the inbound will come in from Caudillo. Caudillo tosses it in, gets it to Henson. Splits through 2 Eagles, keeps control of the basketball. Over to the right corner, then back to Henson. Henson to Caudillo. Little runner from 5, and it is up and in. Caudillo in the books. We're tied again at 34 apiece.
Yeah, great play. That little give and go right in the paint underneath the hoop. You take it every time.
Lewis top of the arc. Into the right corner for Morgan. Morgan now back to the top. 3 on the way for Ramos. That one is no good, and the rebound by Olivas, his first.
Nice grab.
And he is, they're going to say that Olivas threw an elbow. And so the Lovington fans not liking that. It'll be a turnover for the Cats. Olivas his first personal, and it puts Hobbs in the double bonus. So Mackey, who's 2 of 2 from the line, heads to the stripe for 2. And actually, they're going to say that he elbowed Mora, so it'll put Aaron Mora at the line for 2.
Yeah, Mora was right on the basket, hands up, trying to get that rebound and put it back, a putback. But somebody got him on the arm, we guess. And threw the elbow underneath his arms, maybe.
Yep. So the foul, as we said, going to be called on Matthew Olivas.
It's going to be a floor foul. I thought I was confused by it because I didn't feel like it was a shooting foul.
Well, and I thought anytime you got to 10 that it was a shooting foul.
We'll see.
But since it was offensive and not defensive, so it'll be a turnover for the Cats. They've got 12. So the inbound will come from Lewis underneath his own basket. Lovington is pressuring, gets it to Mora, top of the arc, then around as they continue to work it in, and that'll be Ross that drives it up and in. Or excuse me, that was Ramos, number 20. So he's got 4 points, 36-34. Full court press is on as the trap is on. Sandoval will get it into the offensive zone. He'll stay on Lewis. Now he'll hand it off to Henson. Henson gets a screen from Sandoval. Now he gets a screen from Caudillo, but he gets his pocket pick. Coming back the other way is Ramos, who takes it coast to coast, but is fouled as Henson will get, or rather Hilliard will get whistled for the foul. That'll be his first personal.
He went down hard on the court. He's slow getting up. He's going to shake it off. But that was definitely a hard fall.
As it's going to put Jesus Ramos at the line for 2. Hobbs is in the double bonus. So Jesus Ramos with 4 points looks to add to it, a 2-point lead for Hobbs. 3:52 to go here in the second quarter. 36-34, and swish make it 37-34. Hobbs has picked up the defensive intensity here the last minute and a half or so of game clock.
Right, Lovington has to answer, and several subs coming in. I think fresh legs to make sure that Lovington can continue to keep up with Hobbs and press him.
Second shot on the way, and that one will roll over the front of the iron for Ramos. 38-34, a 4-point lead, biggest since a 6-0 run to start the ball game. Aguilera goes around Mackey into the front court, pulls up at the free throw line, gives it to Olivas, then back to Sandoval. They're going to try and trap him up in the corner. Throws it to Olivas. He gets it top of the arc. Aguilera head faked into the free throw line, puts up the runner from there, no good. And the rebound is going to be brought down by Ramos, his second. Feed it to a breaking Katre Morgan, who will lay it up and in. Morgan now with 6 points. 40-34.
This is the kind of play that can stack up against you really fast. Lovington really has to answer.
And a push foul going to be called on Katre Morgan, his second personal, 8th team foul, and that will put Lovington at the line for the 1-and-1 in the form of Aguilera. He's 1 of 2 from the line. So, yeah, this is where Lovington needs to start clawing back.
Yeah, they've got to, because this is the biggest lead I think that either team has had. And Lovington has led this game by a couple of points a couple of different times, but they have got to.
Ties the biggest Hobbs lead. They went up 6-0 to start the game. Shot up for Aguilera, gets the front end of the 1-1. He's got 4 points now, 40-35.
Can cut down that Hobbs lead even more right here.
Aguilera, as Lovington going to drop everybody back in defense with the exception of Henson. Second one on the way, and that one is off the iron, and the rebound will be made by Ramos. Ramos gets it forward. Mackey drives into the paint, and he is going to be blocked out, and they're going to call jump ball. Nice job. Great hustle by Adam Aguilera, who created the jump ball. It'll be Wildcat basketball, and that's a turnover for Hobbs.
And what set that up was Lovington dropping back, into the back court, just anticipating that.
Jeffrey to Aguilera, who turns on the Jets, gets it into the front court. They try and trap him up at the timeline as he will just bounce it off of the legs of Michael Mackey. So it'll stay Lovington basketball. Can't get trapped up like that. Got to be careful. So Sandoval will inbound it from the center court stripe. Gets it to Henson in the backcourt as Isaac will bring it right up over the big cat. He works against Lewis. Takes it left to right. Now over to Sandoval on the Wildcat logo. Gets a screen, takes it to the free throw line, and tries to get a cut on Matthew Olivas, but off of the hands of Katre Morgan. Lovington dodging a bullet. They'll keep it down by 5 with under 3 to play in the first half.
You really got to watch those passes and those hands.
So now Aguilera will inbound it from left of the bucket from our perspective. Flips it into Jeffrey at the free throw line. Jeffrey drives in, uses up his dribble, has to put up a little push shot, won't go. A fight for the rebound, goes out of bounds, and last touched by Jeffrey. It'll be Hobbs basketball.
Got to make him count. If you get that close, you've got to make him count. Can't count on drawing the foul.
No, you cannot. So into the front court comes Gore. He'll pull up from just behind the free throw line, puts up a wild shot, won't fall, and the rebound is going to be made, and a foul called. And that was Lewis.
Yep.
Isaiah Lewis, his third rebound, and he'll head to the line for the second time tonight.
Are they going to call it on Jeffrey or no?
Let's see, and I think they're going to call that on Henson, actually.
Okay.
So that'll be on Isaac. That'll be his second personal. Nope, actually they call it on Jeffrey, so his third personal. And at the line will be Lewis for 2, puts up the first and makes it. He's got 3 points. So back to a 6-point Hobbs lead as Jeffrey will check out. Hilliard comes back in for him. Hilliard, Henson, Olivas, Aguilera, and Sandoval on the court for the Cats. Lewis at the line, got his first, puts up the second, gets them both. He's now 50-50 from the line. 42-35, biggest lead of the ball game for the Eagles. 2.5 to go. Into the front court with Aguilera off the pass from Hilliard. Uses up the dribble. That'll be Hilliard. Tatum, little stop and go into the paint to a backdoor cutting Olivas, and he is going to get hammered by Morgan. So it'll put Matthew at the line for 2. 19 foul on Hobbs. That'll be the third personal on Katre Morgan. So he's in a little bit of foul trouble. Like I said, we may not get through this game because everybody may be fouled out.
Well, Lovington, again, the bench is going to have to step up because with Jeffrey with 3 fouls, of course, Ortiz already, out, and Olivas in on this.
First shot is up, and it is in for Matthew Olivas.
All right, good job there because Lovington has got to cut into this Hobbs lead.
I think we've seen everybody on the Lovington roster tonight.
And Lovington, their shooting has slowed down just a little bit. They're starting to drive into the paint. And they're
second up, and that one won't fall, and they're just going to back out and let Mora take that one down. So they'll give it off to Gore, 42-36. Hobbs in the lead by 6.
Lovington able to stay up with Hobbs scoring by those 3-pointers, and they've slowed those down a bit here.
Live by the 3, dive by the 3 as Gore hippity up through the lane will leave it off for Lewis. 20-footer from the right side, no good, but the rebound by Mora. His putback won't go. His second putback will, though. So Mora going to pick up his 6th rebound and his 8th point. 44-36 up by 8, the biggest lead of the ball game. To Henson in the front court to a cutting Aguilera. Now under to Olivas, and yep, they call the travel. He took that extra step, and that'll be the 14th turnover for the Wildcats.
Lovington stalling out here just a little bit. They can't afford this. They had great intensity, great speed. They were pressing, and they need to keep that up. They're fading just a little bit here in this late in this second quarter.
44-36, Hobbs in the lead as it'll be Mackey to run the point. Takes it into the front court. Aguilera will come out to guard between the rings. Uses up the dribble, will come near side as Ramos goes into the paint, goes behind the back, puts up a wild shot. Will get his own rebound. His quick one won't go, and they're going to wave it off, and they are going to call the charge.
Yep, on him.
So that'll be on Ramos. That'll be... Nope, it'll be on Lovington because they're going to the line, and so they are going to call the hold foul on Henson. So Ramos with his 5th rebound, and he'll go to the line for 2.
It's that offensive rebounding that Hobbs is able to do that is just killing. They've been able to pull away from Lovington because of that here in this second quarter.
First shot for Ramos is up, and that one will rattle home. He's a perfect 3 of 3 from the line with 90 seconds remaining first half. 45-36, up by 9, biggest lead of the ball game for Hobbs. Second shot on the way for Ramos, and that one will roll over the front of the iron. He's got 6 points here in the quarter, 8 overall, 46-36, 10-point lead. Aguilera looking for, and a bad pass by Sandoval. 15th turnover for Lovington. The press starting to get to him and going up and coast to coast. The rebound by Mora is up and in. He's got 10.
And I think there's a whistle sounds. It's a foul, yes.
And it will be a shot to the head after the play. Ouch. And so at the line will be Mackey. He's 2 of 2 from the stripe. Well, they're going to wave the bucket by Mora off. Looks like
right.
So it's still 46-36. As the first shot for Mackey is up, and it is good. So they called the foul before the bucket, and that'll be on Matthew Olivas. That'll be his 3rd personal. So the sophomore Mackey at the line makes the first, makes it 47-36. As he'll eye the second. Puts it up, and that one is no good, and the rebound is going to be made by Hilliard, his 3rd. Hilliard takes it into the front court, turns on the Jets. Now he'll leave it off for Henson, left wing for 3, and that one is off the mark, and the rebound is going to be made by Olivas. Olivas will reset it with Hilliard. Back to Aguilera, backs it near the timeline, gets bumped by Miller, no call. And now they will call the push foul on Jaden Miller, his 2nd personal, 10th team foul, and that'll send Adam to the line for 2. As Lovington now in the double bonus, under a minute to play, and an 11-point deficit for the Wildcats. But you wouldn't know it the way this one is gone. Hobbs has just managed to find a little rhythm here late in the second half.
Well, the difference has been their rebounding.
And turnovers.
Exactly. And
so Adam 50-50 from the line, 2 of 4, and now 3 of 5.
We weren't sure. Hit front, hit back, and rolled in. We'll take it.
So cuts it down to a 10-point Eagle lead, 47-37.
Lovington defense needs to get busy, force some
shot
turnovers.
Up, no good, and the rebound made by Miller, his 1st. Miller to Gore, under a minute to go here in the first half. A 10-point Hobbs lead, 47-37. Backing it up is Gore, leaving it off for Mora in the left elbow. Now to a cutting Lewis in the paint, and he is going to get tied up. Jump ball, and it'll stay Hobbs basketball, but a nice job by Olivas to go in and tie up Lewis. So stays Hobbs basketball, 39 seconds remaining in the half. Lewis looks for somebody to come free, and it'll be Gore between the rings as he got a half step on Hilliard. Sounds more like a football play there. Gore will start his drive in, pulls up in the left block, puts up his shot, no good, and the rebound right in the hands of Sandoval, his 3rd. Kobe will start it back up the floor, give it off to Henson, now to Hilliard, who gets bumped, no call. Goes behind his back. Lovington will reset the offense. Sandoval on the near side, working on Mackey, backs it between the rings. Hobbs wants a travel, Lovington wants a bump. Aguilera to Hilliard, who weaves through traffic. Now to Aguilera, left wing for 3, and that one is too hard off the iron. Fight for the rebound, and just too much Aaron Mora, his 8th. At the buzzer, it is Gore, and off the glass, no good. We have played a half here at Wildcat Gym. The Hobbs Eagles leading the Lovington Wildcats 47-37. We're back in 3 minutes for your Lovington Auto Supply Napa Know-How halftime show. 47-37, Hobbs in the lead on the Knoll Pharmacy scoreboard. Back in 3 on Z94. Pat Jim. This is your Lovington Auto Supply Napa Know-How halftime show from Lovington Auto Supply, 217 West Avenue D in Lovington. Anything you need for your car, get the Napa Know-How from the good folks at Lovington Auto Supply. 47-37 on the Knoll Pharmacy scoreboard. Hobbs in the lead with Dawn Morgan. I'm TJ Miracle. Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing. Taking a look at the numbers in the first half. We'll start with the visiting Hobbs Eagles. Leading scorer for them is Jalen Gore. He's got 10 points in the books. 8 points for Jesus Ramos. 8 points for Aaron Mora. 6 points for Katre Morgan. 5 points Tyler Box. 4 points Isaiah Lewis. 3 points for Michael Mackey. 2 points for Jaden Miller. And then 1 point for Paxton Batasil. Leading rebounder right now is Mora. No big surprise for the big junior center for Coach Shelby Reeves' Hobbs Eagles, as he's got 8 rebounds, 28 rebounds as a team for Hobbs. They go 16 of 23 from the charity stripe, turn the ball over 10 times in the first half, get 20 in the first, 27 in the second. That's how they get to their 47 on the board. Turning the page for your Lovington Wildcats, leading scorer right now, Kobe Sandoval, who lit it up from 3, especially in the first quarter. He's got 14 points. He leads all scorers in the ball game. 6 points for Isaac Henson, 6 points for Tayton Hilliard, 5 in the books for Adam Aguilera. Then 2 points for Michael Caldillo off the bench, 2 points for Damian Ortiz. And you got 1 point for Jared Jeffrey and 1 point for Matthew Olivas. Leading rebounders right now for the Cats, Sandoval and Hilliard each with 3 as a team. Lovington only 13 rebounds, so getting cleaned off the glass, to put it mildly, by the Hobbs Eagles. The Cats turned it over 15 times in the first half, and they go 8 of 14, so slightly better than 50-50 from the line. 21 in the first, 16 in the second. That's how Lovington gets to their 37 on the board, Dawn Morgan.
Yes, and you know, the things that we noticed and talked about as the first half was going, we see very clearly with the stats at halftime in terms of rebounding. Hobbs has been doing a better job both offensively and defensively. They are getting more looks for themselves, increasing the chance of scoring more by doing that and making those second and third looks, whereas they're denying those second and third looks for Lovington, and that's cut Lovington's chances to score down and also has cut Lovington's possession of the ball down. So there you have it, 28 rebounds for Hobbs, 13 for Lovington, and Lovington especially weak with the offensive rebounding. So if they're not making the first shot, they're turning it right back over, and Hobbs is going back down, and like as not, they're scoring a lot as they picked up and started to pull away from Lovington in that second part of the second quarter. And
some of that,
right.
Some of that I'm going to say is
fouling.
Lovington's got some guys in foul trouble.
Exactly.
Jared Jeffrey with 3, Isaac Henson with 3,
Yes.
Adam Aguilera with 3, Damian Ortiz with 3,
Yeah.
Matthew Olivas with 3,
Yeah.
and then Tayton Hilliard. He's only got 1, but everybody else that's got a foul on him is in foul trouble.
And they're starters plus they're first off the bench, and now they're all in that foul trouble. So that has also cut down on Lovington's effectiveness because their starters were hanging right with Hobbs, and even Lovington was even in the lead, several times in that first half before Hobbs really started denying them more and more of the ball. So they're shooting. Also, Lovington has stopped taking those three-point shots. Both teams were putting on a three-point exhibition in that first quarter for sure and early in the second quarter, and then both teams really started to stop taking the outside shots. Lovington took a couple, missed, and it's like they lost their heart, and they didn't even try anymore. They started taking the ball in close to the basket, and unfortunately they're getting out-rebounded. So I think they need to pull back and try to get hot again from the outside, because that's been what that worked for them, and that kept them right there with the Hobbs Eagles.
Well, and you're going to have to chip into it, and the defense has got to step up, but you got to be careful about the fouls,
That's
as
true.
we mentioned. But it is going to be important. It's easier to cut into it getting 3 points at a time than it is getting 2 points at a time.
Yeah.
You cannot count on driving in, and I know what they're doing.
Right.
Is when the outside shooting went a little cold, they started driving in, hoping for the buckets and the fouls, but they just didn't quite work out that way.
They can't quite finish a lot of times. So a lot of even from point blank range, they're having trouble finishing those shots. And with the strong rebounding, especially by Mora, but other rebounders on the Hobbs team, they are just Hobbs is cleaning them off. and not giving Lovington another chance, another look. So they're not having luck. You know, they're driving the lane, they're getting into position, but they're not finishing and being able to get those baskets in. So we're just going to have to make some adjustments at half and see what happens.
And of course, we are just about at the end of halftime. The Lovington Wildcats trailing Hobbs on the Knoll Pharmacy scoreboard 47-37, but it has been an entertaining one. We are back in 90 seconds for the second half. This has been your Lovington Auto Supply Napa Know-How halftime show. Back for the second half on Z94 KZOR. Here at Wildcat Gym, start of the second half. It'll be Lovington basketball. I'm TJ Miracle alongside Dawn Morgan. Lovington trailing 47-37. As we get back to it, it'll be the starting five for the Cats. Sandoval, Jeffrey, Henson, Aguilera, and Hilliard on the floor for Lovington. So into the backcourt, Aguilera will get it as Gore will pick him up. Starting five on the floor for the Hobbs Eagles as well. Aguilera to the front court, takes it to the right wing. Little spin move out of a screen by Jeffrey. Takes it to the free throw line, leaves it off. Hilliard to the free throw line, gives it to Henson. Hippity hop through the lane, and he's going to be blocked by Mora. His second block, and he will feed it forward to a breaking Mackey, who lays it up and in uncontested. 5 points for Mackey, and Hobbs draws first blood here in the second half. 49-37 on an Old Pharmacy scoreboard. Into the front court comes Aguilera, works on Gore. Takes it to the right base, goes all the way through, almost loses the basketball, keeps it back up. Now Moore will switch off, pick him up to Hilliard, to the right block, puts it up and in and out, won't fall in the rebound by Morgan. That'll be his fifth. Offensive rebounds to Lewis, who drives through and puts it high off the glass and good. Isaiah Lewis with 6 points. 49-37, Lovington needs to answer right now.
It's 51-37.
As Aguilera looks over to Casey Pack. Coach Casey gives him what he needs, tells him what to run. To Henson to Sandoval. With Morgan picking him up very tight. Handed off to Adam Aguilera. Adam to Jeffrey, top of the arc. Jeffrey thinks about the three. He's never met a three he didn't like. Then to Sandoval, three on the way, and that one is in and out, no good. Nobody underneath the rebound, and Mora has his ninth. 51-37. For the Hobbs Eagles, three-pointer on the way for Lewis. That one won't fall, and the rebound fighting for it, and it'll go out of bounds. They're going to say jump ball, and it'll go back to the Hobbs Eagles.
And turnovers, again, we didn't talk a lot about that at half, but 10 turnovers only for Hobbs, 15 for Lovington. They've got to hang on to the ball.
And timeout taken by Coach Casey Pack. 6:27 to go in the third quarter. 51-37 on the Knoll Pharmacy scoreboard. Hobbs leads. This is Wildcat basketball on Z94 KZOR Hobbs Lovington. Back here at Wildcat Jam out of the Lovington timeout as the inbound will come to Moore, and he'll put it up. It rolls off the front of the rim. A long rebound going to be made by Sandoval. Sandoval to Henson, and off the glass and up and in. Isaac Henson. He's got 8 points in the ball game. Hobbs back the other way, 51-39. Hobbs in the lead. Lovington cuts it back to a 12-pointer. To Lewis, to Gore. Gore drives into the paint, puts up a little fall away, and it's good. Gore with 12 points leads the Eagles in the scoring department, 53-39. Hilliard to the front court to Sandoval. Thinks about the three, now takes it under, goes hard to the hoop, puts up a shot, won't fall, but the rebound going to be called on Gore. His second and the first team foul in the half.
We'll take the foul, but it would certainly have been better to have the and instead of the or.
Yes, it would have been. Sandoval will head to the line. He's 2 for 2 from the stripe.
Lovington.
And I hope I didn't just put out the announcer jinx. And so far, so good. He's got 15, leads all scorers.
Lovington has got to claw their way back into this one. It doesn't sound like they're down by much, 13, but against Hobbs, they can turn on the Jets on you and score so quickly. You've really got to stay. They need to force some turnovers and get some of those points back.
Second shot is up, and it's good for Kobe. The junior point guard makes it 53-41. Back to a 12-point lead. As into the front court comes with Box. Box to Mora to Gore. In front of the Hobbs bench, he'll back it up. Now over, working it. And coming through as Ramos puts up a little underhand scoop shot. No good, gets his own rebound, and he will get the and one. He's got 10, and he goes to the line.
That was a good job. He first of all, he blocked the first shot and kept it from being away. But then when the putback came, he got a little too aggressive and got the wrist.
Foul going to be called on Ortiz, and he's coming out as Olivas is coming in for him. And Ramos at the line for the and one. Three the old-fashioned way, as they used to say. 55-41 the score. Hobbs in the lead by 14. 5:26 remaining here in the third. As Ramos already directing traffic. He's a perfect 4 of 4 from the line. And he gets three the old-fashioned way. He's got 11 for the Eagles, 56-41. The inbound comes to Aguilera, who spins as he crosses the timeline, runs into a wall of Eagles, and gets his pocket pick, 16th turnover. Back comes Hobbs to Gore, uses up his dribble, turns around from 15, in and out. That one won't go. Ball going to be knocked around and finally into the hands of Hilliard, his fourth. So Tatum will start it back the other way. On him very tight is Box. Now to Aguilera near the timeline where he and Gore go at it, and a collision.
Well, Gore flew
Box
in.
Goes in and tackles
Box.
Hilliard.
Yeah. Box flew in. He was just trying to stay on him high, but definitely a bad foul.
So it'll be stay Lovington basketball. 4:58 to go here in the third. 56-41 on the Old Pharmacy scoreboard. Hobbs in the lead. Hilliard to inbound from in front of his own bench. Out of Hobbs pressure, just has to sling it into the backcourt with Aguilera. Adam in front of the scorer's table. Box almost picks the pocket. Little crossover. Adam uses up the dribble. Needs some help. Gets it from Hilliard. So now Hilliard will set against Box. Now to the left corner. Aguilera thinks about three. Comes into the paint. Goes to the low post. Puts up a shot. Nobody into there to help him rebound it. So Gore will get it for Hobbs. Jalen brings it back for the Eagles. Now into the right corner with Ramos. Ramos spin move. Splits two defenders and loses the handle on the basketball. And give it off to Tatum. He spins the other way, and he is going to be blocked. And into the hands of Mora, so back comes Hobbs. Lovington misses the opportunity to Ramos. The baby hook, no good. Rebound won by Mora, and finally going to be rebounded by Henson. Henson to Aguilera all by himself, breaking down the court on the fast break, and up and in for Adam. He's got 7. Halfway through the third period, 56-43. Lovington trails, but not going away as whistles sound as Coach Shelby Reeves wants to talk about it. 3:57 to go in the third. It's Hobbs 56, the Wildcats 43. We're back for more Wildcat basketball on Z94 KZOR in 1 minute. Out of the Hobbs Eagle timeout, it'll be Hobbs basketball as Ramos to inbound from next to the scorer's table. As he will toss it in, and it's going to be stolen away.
Nice.
Almost, and yep, it is stolen away, but turned right back over as Hobbs will come back and reset with Lewis. Drives in, tries to dunk it, no good, and the rebound by Jeffrey. So Jeffrey will bring it back. He feeds it to a breaking Sandoval, and Kobe gets the roll finally. I wasn't sure for a minute, but he made it work. Kobe's got 18. Back the other way for Lewis to the left block. Goes into the low post, and he'll put it up with the left hand. 8 points for Lewis. Inbound from Jeffrey to Hilliard, back to Jared. Jared will leave it off before he crosses the timeline for Tayton. As Hilliard into the front court to Sandoval in front of the fan section, almost knocked away. Sandoval will get it. Ramos works on him very hard. He'll go to the baseline, put it up and pop it in. 16, make that 20 points for Sandoval, 6 here in the third. 58-47, 3 minutes remaining in the third. Lovington trails by 11. Gore to the near side, NBA 3 from the left on the way. That one not going to fall, and the ball will go out of bounds. And last touched by Lovington as Joey Villalobos had position, but just couldn't hang on to the basketball.
Yeah, he was trying to just save that ball, keep it in bounds, and couldn't quite do that, doing a little ballet pirouette right on the line.
Villalobos, the junior forward for these Wildcats, trailing by 11, and just a little in-tip play, and no good by Mora, and the rebound by Jeffrey, his fourth. Jared will bounce it to Sandoval, still in the backcourt, as Miller going to be on him like a cheap shirt. Sandoval stops, tries to get a little space, now turns on the Jets as he comes up the near side. Takes it into the deep right corner, Miller still on him, flips it out into the deep right wing for Hilliard. Tayton directing traffic, takes it to the wing, gets a screen from Olivas to the free throw line. Give it off to Matthew, takes it over to Sandoval. NBA 3 on the way. That one is going to be short, and the rebound is going to be corralled by Mackey. Mackey keeps it himself for the Eagles, comes back and puts it off the left glass and up and in. Mackey now with 7 points in the ballgame, 60-47 as whistles sound, and timeout going to be taken by Coach Casey Pack. 2:12 remaining in the third quarter. The Knoll Pharmacy scoreboard reads Hobbs 60, Lovington 47. We are back in 30 on KZOR. Back here at Wildcat Gym out of the Lovington timeout, Lovington basketball. The Cats trailing the Hobbs Eagles 60-47, battle of Lea County. And of course a battle of different divisions, but still a lot of pride on the line. County bragging rights. 2:10 remaining here in the third. It'll be Aguilera, works against Miller into the front court. Toss it off to Hilliard in the right corner. Loses the basketball off of his foot. That'll be the 18th turnover for the Cats. To Ramos, who takes it in, goes over Villalobos, and they are going to call Villalobos for the block. Didn't look like he got contact, but they called it anyway. His first personal, second team foul, and they are going to say Ramos in the act of shooting. So it'll put Jesus Ramos at the line for 2. Ramos with 11 points in the ballgame is a perfect 5 of 5 from the free throw line. First shot for Ramos is up, and that one is off the front of the iron. No good. Jeffrey, Villalobos, Aguilera, Olivas, and Hilliard on the court for your Wildcats. Second shot on the way for Ramos, and that one is good. And so checking in for Hobbs will be Van Landingham. As Aguilera works on him and takes it into the offensive zone for the Cats. To Villalobos, gets a screen to Jeffrey on the left side and up and in. Jared Jeffrey with 3 points in the ballgame, 61-49. Lovington trying to cut into the Hobbs lead. Miller thinks about the three, now goes in, loses the handle on the basketball. Over to the Wildcats. For Hilliard, drives in to Villalobos. Left corner, 3 on the way. That one is off the glass and into the hands of Gore, his 4th. So back over come the Hobbs Eagles, with Gore, Van Landingham, Ramos, Miller, and Morgan on the floor.
good intention by Lovington on these steals, turnovers. They just haven't been able to capitalize on them.
Gore, a little ankle breaker, kicks it out to Ramos for three. That one is off the front of the iron. Fight for the rebound and come away with by the Cats. That's Aguilera. Takes it coast to coast and gets stripped out. And they're going to say off of the knee of Aguilera. Good hustle the other way by Morgan. You got to say that. As he managed to get a hand on it and pop it off Aguilera. 19th turnover for the Cats. And now two of the officials going to talk about it. I think one of them thinks that it was just popped out by Morgan. Now let's see. There's the two officials that were in the front court. Both, and they're going to switch the call. It'll stay Lovington basketball. And Coach Shelby Reeves is coming over, and he wants to give that linesman a piece of his mind. And let's see, Shelby not known to get teed up a lot, but if he gets teed off, he can get teed up.
Well, he's staying pretty calm. He's simply asking a question and fighting, for his team.
And Coach Casey Pack just shakes his head and goes, yep, thank you very much, our ball. So the inbound will come to Aguilera, but he will get stripped. That will be the 19th turnover. To Ramos, takes it off the strip and coast to coast and puts it up and in. Ramos having a whale of a ball game. He's got 14.
Some would say it's basketball karma.
Yeah, some would. 63-49. Aguilera gets around Ramos. Nice little fake. Puts up a push shot. Won't go. And the rebound, it'll be... I haven't seen if it's a foul or a jump ball. And it will be a foul called. And so they're going to put that up on the board against Isaiah Lewis. His first personal third-team foul. Nope. They're going to switch it. Come over to us. They still hadn't put it on the board, and I didn't see who they signaled it on. Oh, nope, they put it on us, and they put it on Villalobos. I was going to say, I didn't think Lewis was on the floor, so that seemed a little odd. So it'll be to Ramos, and he travels, took that little Euro step and turns it over. 14th turnover for the Hobbs Eagles. 23 seconds to go. Hobbs up 63-49.
It's a break for Lovington, and they've got to capitalize on all of the good things they're doing for themselves, the opportunities they're creating. They've got to turn that into points on the board, or Hobbs is going to stretch the lead out. So they've got to catch up.
Yeah, more so than they have. Hilliard to Aguilera. Aguilera works on Gore into the front court, takes it over into the Cat. That'll be to Sandoval. Sandoval leaves it off for Villalobos. Van Landingham on him tight. Villalobos gets a screen. Bounces it to Aguilera. Thinks about the three. Ramos picks up. He'll find a way in. Puts it up and in. Nice little nifty move for Adam Aguilera. He's got 9 and at the buzzer. And that one is off the front of the iron. And no good. So we head to the fourth. Hobbs leading Lovington by a score of 63-51. We're back in a minute for the fourth on Z94 KZOR. Start of the fourth quarter here at Wildcat Gym. The Knoll Pharmacy scoreboard reads Hobbs 63, Lovington 51. Alongside Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle, Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing. It'll be Wildcat basketball to start the fourth. If they're going to mount a comeback, they need to do it right now. Hobbs comes out in the full court press, starting 5 on the floor for the Cats. Aguilera in the backcourt works against Lewis, starting 5 on the floor, 2 for Hobbs. So Aguilera takes it to the deep right corner, starts his drive on the base and tries the reverse layup. No good, and Lewis is the one there for the rebound, his fourth. Lewis will take it coast to coast, drives through, puts up the shot, and count the bucket and the foul. 10 points for Isaiah Lewis, and he goes to the line. So let's see who they called it on. A couple of Cats in the neighborhood, and they are going to whistle that one on Henson. That'll be his 5th personal. Just the third team foul in the half, but at the line will be Lewis for the and one. 2 of 2 from the stripe. And make it 3 of 3 as he gets 3 the old-fashioned way. 66-51. Biggest lead of the ball game for Hobbs at 15. As Aguilera has a whistle going to sound, and they are going to call that on Lewis. Yep, they are going to whistle Lewis for that one. So that'll be his first personal. That'll be the 4th team foul on Hobbs. It will be on the floor. The Hobbs faithful not liking the call. It'll be Hilliard to inbound, tosses it to Aguilera. In the backcourt, takes it to the far side where he works on Lewis. And they are going to call the charge this time on Aguilera. 20th turnover and the 4th foul on Aguilera. I think maybe just a little
evening things up there,
evening things up, yeah. Because I really didn't think that last one was a foul, to be perfectly honest. I didn't think that one was either, but they're evening it up. It happens. 7:29 to go in the ball game as Gore will bring it across the cat into the front court to Mora. Now into the right elbow with Morgan. Now over to Ross. 3 from 15. No good on the rebound by Henson. His second. It's got some ups. Henson keeps it himself. Gives it off to Hilliard into the front court. And guess who? That's Mora. Traveled the other way. Coming back Mora with his 12th rebound. So the teams trade turnovers.
Oh, Hobbs does not like that.
No, they do not. Checking into the ball game will be Matthew Olivas for the Wildcats. No, he's going to go in for Adam Aguilera. Going to go with a little bit bigger lineup. If you wanted to do that, you'd put Ortiz out there too. I know he's sitting with 4 fouls, but got to find a way to counteract Morgan and Mora on the inside. They've definitely got the size advantage. So Olivas out there, though, and it'll be Hilliard. Gets a screen from Olivas, and a foul going to be called, a block foul.
I think that's on Mora.
And
is it going to be
I
on
think
Mora?
It's going to be on us. Going to be on Lovington.
Oh,
as they called a knee, and so they're going to whistle a knee foul on Ortiz or Olivas, his 4th personal, 5th team foul, and the 21st turnover on the Wildcats. No, don't want to let this one get away from you as the inbound comes from Lewis to Gore, who will take it into the offensive zone. Hilliard will pick him up there, gets a screen from Morgan, goes hippity-hop through the lane and puts it up and in. Gore now with 14 points for Hobbs. On the inbound, controlled by Henson. Now over to the right side. That'll be Sandoval. Leaves it off for Hilliard. Now back to Henson. Thinks about the 3 on him. Very quick was Mackey. And tries to save it and does. Jeffrey gets it. It goes to the floor, and they are going to call the push on Hobbs. Coach Casey Pack, not a happy man across the way, and they are going to call the push. I believe they're going to whistle that one on Mackey. Yep, they will put that up on Mackey. His 3rd personal, 5th team foul on Hobbs here in the half.
This is the biggest lead that Hobbs has had on Lovington. 17 points up with 6:28 left to play in this game.
Jeffrey inbound from the left base, flips it in. And Sandoval puts up one short from 15. The rebound by Mackey, his 3rd. Mackey, though, gets his pocket picked back the other way. Nice job by Hilliard. Hilliard picks up the dribble to Sandoval at the right elbow, and his 2-pointer will go. He's got 22 points in the ball game, leads all scores, 68-53. Hobbs still in the lead, 6 minutes to go, but Lovington not going away. Still fighting the good fight. Gore works against Hilliard, flips it over to Morgan, tries to give it off to Mora, but a little miscommunication there. As Morgan says, yep, that one's on me, as Mora was going to the basket.
A break for Lovington again as Hilliard will inbound.
They've got to find a way to capitalize.
Oh,
they toss it in and almost
dangerous.
stolen away, but that'll leave it open for Henson into the front court to Jeffrey, deep left corner for 3, and that one will be short. And the ball going to be controlled by Lewis, his 5th. Lewis to Gore, breaks the little pressure in the backcourt. Gore, 15-footer from the left side, no good. Pushed by Morgan, his shot won't go.
Then it kind of blocked away by Olivas.
And the rebound going to be made by Sandoval, his 5th. Pushes it out on the far side to Hilliard as Tatum will work against Morgan. Brings it over to the near side with 5:21 remaining. Almost losing the basketball, and he will lose the basketball. And they're going to say knocked away by Katre Morgan. And Katre Morgan is arguing a bit with the official. It's not a good idea to do that. We've seen this gentleman official a lot over the years, and he's very calm and collected. But
Hilliard was trying to keep it away from him behind the back.
Yeah, he will whistle you to Jeffrey. Underneath to a wide open Olivas, and he cuts it up and in on the backdoor cut. 68-55. 5 minutes remaining in the ball game. Lovington trailing, but making it an entertaining one, if nothing else. And learning a lot. Lewis takes it and runs in, puts up the shot, and they call the charge on Lewis. His second personal, and that'll be the 18th turnover for the Eagles. So wipe the score off the board and give it to Hobbs, or give it to Lovington. Nice job by the Cats to set the feet underneath.
Well, Hobbs doesn't think that they're calling it both ways here. We've got some fans behind us very unhappy about that.
Van Landingham will check in for Lewis.
Although they should look at the scoreboard. Hobbs is still ahead by 13. So
4:53 remaining in the ball game. They'll toss it in to Sandoval as the point guard almost loses it, controls it back, and he'll get it to Hilliard. So Tatum will take it across the timeline with time to spare. So working around. They'll get it to Henson. Henson works against Mackey, drives into the left base, and he is going to be fouled. That'll put him at the line for two.
Oh boy.
Couple of Eagles in the neighborhood. Let's see which one they whistle it on. As he told Coach Shelby Reeves, but he hasn't told the official scorers yet. And it will be whistled on Michael Mackey. That'll be his fourth personal, 6-team foul. And it'll send Isaac Henson to the line for two. His first trip to the stripe tonight. He's got 8 points. First shot up for Isaac, and he short arms it. No good. Lovington 10 of 17 from the free throw line tonight. Second one on the way, and that one is good. 9 points for Isaac in this one. He's had a pretty good ball game. 68-56, 4.5 to go in the ball game. Lovington has cut it back to a 12-point lead. At 1 point in the first half led, and a long three-pointer on the way, top of the arc, no good. Fight for the rebound underneath. Van Landingham is somehow going to save it, but saves it right into the hands of the Cats, and feeding it forward to a breaking Sandoval. Nice job by Sandoval, and the Cats are on a bit of a run here, 68-59, back to single digits, 4:20 remaining. Gore to the front with Hilliard as the Cats crowd starts chanting defense. Into the deep right corner for Gore. Almost steps on the inline. Somehow keeps himself in bounds. He'll cycle it back around, and Hobbs will reset the offense. Halfway through the fourth quarter, and a 9-point lead for the Eagles. Screen set by Morgan. Hilliard stays right on him to Mackey at the free throw line. Toss it off. 18-footer on the way. No good.
No.
And a fight for the rebound, and hard to the floor is Jeffrey.
On his back is 34, Morgan.
And they're going to call it on Morgan, as Morgan is saying, hey, Coach, you got to talk to him here. And it will be on Morgan, so Jeffrey will get it. And that'll be the fourth on Morgan. Morgan is going to have to be very careful. He's barking at these officials. Coach Shelby Reeves smartly pulls him out. So over to the Lovington Wildcats, trailing by 9, 68-59, 3:48 remaining. And they're saying 1-1, and I have that as a 1-1 as well. They did not have that up on the scoreboard. And so, yeah, it will be 1-1 time for the Lovington Wildcats. I think they're a little behind on the scoreboard here. They only have 4 fouls for Hobbs. And I had that as, I believe, their 7th. So, yeah, that will put Jeffrey on the line for the 1-1. Jared 1 of 2 from the stripe. So he'll settle in, the power forward. Puts up the first and gets it to go. He's got 4 points in the ball game.
Cuts it down to an 8-point lead by Hobbs.
68-60. The Cats not going away.
No, they've still got some time in this game. It has been exciting.
Second one up, and that one won't fall. And another rebound by Mora. He's got 13.
We needed that one.
He's a bucket away from a double-double. Got a couple of assists in there, too. As the defense chance starts. To Gore in the left corner. 3 on the way, and bang! Gore will put it down. Jalen Gore has another tray, his 3rd of the ball game. And going hard to the floor is Sandoval. Hobbs thinks it's theirs. Lovington wants a foul. And what are they going to say? They're going to say Hobbs basketball turnover for the Cats. That's number 23. 71-60, Hobbs in the lead. Back to an 11-point lead. And the inbound will come from Ramos to Mackey. Mackey with Sandoval on him, brings it to the near side, now takes it over to the far side. Trying to get Gore, cutting to the deep right corner for a tray ball and throws it away. 19th turnover for the Hobbs Eagles. The Lovington down by 11, but still hanging in there, and timeout going to be taken by Coach Casey Pack. 3:16 remaining in the ball game. Knoll Pharmacy scoreboard says Hobbs 71, Lovington 60. Back in 60 for Wildcat basketball on Z94 KZOR. Hilliard will inbound it, gets it into Henson, takes it up on the far sideline in front of the Lovington bench. 71-60 on the Knoll Pharmacy scoreboard, Lovington trailing. Back to Hilliard, who will give it off to Sandoval. Works it to the right base, drives in, puts up a little underhand scoop shot, count the bucket on the foul!
Nice little reverse layup by Sandoval. Guy, just a really great move.
And they will count it, and it will be a push foul on Mackey. And if I'm not mistaken, that will foul Mackey out of the ball game. 71-62, and Mackey will foul out of the ball game. He finishes up with 7 points and 3 rebounds. So Mackey going to have to come out of the game. And Lovington being very careful with Damian Ortiz as he was in, now he's out. For Matthew Olivas, and Sandoval at the line for 3 the old-fashioned way. 26 points for Kobe in this one. Trying to get it to an 8-point lead. He'll put up the N1. It won't fall. He'll come through, but not be able to get it. Catre Morgan with his 8th rebound. Catre will take it coast to coast and lays it up and in. 73-62 on the Knoll Pharmacy scoreboard. As Sandoval into the front court, works against. Now he'll put up a 3 ball. That one won't go. Nobody underneath to get it. And it'll be 14 for Mora on the glass. 2.5 to go in the ball game. Gore gets a little screen from Mora. Top of the arc, 3 ball, and that one no good. But Mora another rebound, his 15th. And his little skyhook putback will not fall on the rebound by Jeffrey, his 7th. And we'll have a jump ball called. It'll stay Lovington basketball.
Well, good fight by Jeffrey as he was on the floor again. At least he wasn't underneath the player this time.
Yeah, I'm sure that one was a little more pleasant. As Lewis will check into the ball game, comes in for Tyler Box. Sandoval going to go take a quick breather as Adam Aguilera back in the ball game with 4 fouls. Now you've got Hilliard, Jeffrey, Olivas, Henson, and Aguilera on the floor. It'll be Henson with it. Backs down on Ramos, gets it into the front court, spins around, will give it off to Hilliard. Tatum, little hesitation move, takes it to the right corner, and the ball going to be turned over as somehow getting it before it went out of bounds was Lewis. Good job by Lewis. Hustle play, credit where credit is due. Gore top of the arc with 2 minutes remaining. Now he's going to back it up between the rings. Coach Shelby Reeves barking out instructions. So is Coach Casey Pack. To the near side with Ramos. He'll drive in, loses the handle, but there to save it is Morgan. Top of the arc to Lewis, now to Gore in front of the Hobbs bench. They're just going to play keep away.
Just burn some clock right here.
Minute 44 remaining in the ball game, an 11-point lead for Hobbs. Lovington at some point going to have to come up and see if they can trap and steal. Minute 30 to go. Gore through the lane, and nobody gets anywhere close to him as Gore puts it up and in. Gore now with 17 points in the ball game. Behind the back, it'll be Jeffrey. Jeffrey goes into the left lane, puts up a scoop shot, no good. Tries the reverse layup, and he's fouled, so it'll put Jarrett at the line for 2. 75-62 is the score. And they're going to whistle that one on Lewis. That'll be his third personal and the 8th team foul on Hobbs. Make that the 9th team foul on Hobbs. So Jeffrey at the line for 2. Jarrett is 2 of 3 from the stripe. And now he's 2 of 4. A 2 of 4 for Jared Jeffrey. Well, 75-62. Lovington not going to win this ball game, but they certainly have made it entertaining, and they have not gone without a fight.
No, they have been playing some pretty good basketball. They've got to work on their free throw shooting for sure. They've got to work on their offensive rebounding and their defensive rebounding, sure.
Second shot for Jarrett is up, and that one will find the bottom of the net. He's got 4 points in the ball game. And timeout. Nope. Nope, they're just saying, okay, get the subs in. And so it'll be Hobbs basketball. 1:15 remaining in the ball game. 75-63 in favor of the Hobbs Eagles. To Lewis near center court. Sandoval picks him up. Handed off to Gore. Works through. Flips it up to a backdoor cutting Morgan. And it's in and out. It won't fall. And the rebound brought Villalobos. Villalobos, though, throws it forward, but too hard for Sandoval to handle. Give it to Ramos underneath for a cutting to Trey Morgan. It's up and in. He's got 10 points. I think maybe they knew that. To Hilliard. To Aguilera. 3 ball on the way. No good. Or excuse me, that's Julian Arroyo. Seeing his first action. No good. And we will have a 1-and-1 shot coming as a foul called on Hobbs. But it was an offensive foul. Oh, no, they're going to say
no, it was just out of bounds. Last touch by Hobbs.
So inbound will come to Hilliard. Back over to Aguilera for 3. Too hard. Hilliard with the rebound, but it is knocked away. And it'll be Hobbs basketball. So Hilliard with the rebound, his 5th, but then turns the ball over. So Hobbs basketball, 36 seconds remaining in the ball game. Ramos, Gore, Mora, Morgan, and Lewis on the floor for Hobbs. It'll be Sandoval, Aguilera, Villalobos, Arroyo, and Hilliard on the floor for the Cats. 27 seconds to go. As Gore backs it up near the timeline. Hilliard on him very tight. As Gore will drive in, loses the handle, gives it off to Mora, and he'll put it up and in. Aaron Mora has his double-double. He's got 10 points to go along with 15 boards. 79-63, and coming down, one last shot for the Cats. Villalobos will put up a 3. It's good, but not before he stepped on the end line.
Oh,
wow.
Insult to injury there.
That is.
Tough.
So another turnover. That is turnover number 27 for the Wildcats. Just too many to overcome.
Right.
As Gore are going to control it. And our final score on the Nowell Pharmacy scoreboard will be Hobbs 79, Lovington 63. We're back in 2 minutes for the Wildcat postgame show. This is Lovington basketball on Z94 KZOR. Back here at Wildcat Gym, our final, the Lovington Wildcats falling to the Hobbs Eagles 79-63, but a very entertaining ball game. The Cats showed an awful lot of fight out there, Dawn.
They did. They played some pretty good basketball, and they stayed with Hobbs that first quarter, particularly as their shooting was really hot. They were making a lot of three-point shots, and they were quick. Their press was good. They were fouling, but Hobbs was too. But they had problems with turnovers early on, and it came back to really bite them. Lovington ended up with
27 turnovers.
27 turnovers, and Hobbs only had
19.
19.
So let's quickly take a look at the numbers here. We'll start with the Hobbs Eagles. Their leading scorer tonight, Jalen Gore, with 19. 14 for Jesus Ramos, 11 for Isaiah Lewis. 10 points, Aaron Mora, 10 points for Katray Morgan. So Hobbs has 5 players in double digits tonight. 7 points for Michael Mackey, 5 points for Tyler Box. And then you've got 2 points for Jaden Miller, 1 point for Paxton Batasil. Hobbs tonight, their leading rebounder, Mora, with 15, 44 collectively as a team. 19 turnovers, as you mentioned. They go 19 of 27 from the free throw line. And 20, 27, 16, and 16. That's how they get to their 79 on the board. Turn of the page for your Lovington Wildcats. Leading all scorers tonight was Kobe Sandoval. He lit it up. 26 points for the senior point guard. 9 points for Henson and Aguilera, respectively. 6 points for Hilliard. And 5 points for Jared Jeffrey. 3 points Matthew Olivas. 2 for Damian Ortiz and Michael Caldillo. Lovington's leading rebounder tonight was Jared Jeffrey. He had 7 rebounds, 26 as a team. 13 of 23 from the free throw line. We already mentioned the 27 turnovers. 21, 16, 14, 12. That's how we get to the 63 on the board for the Wildcats.
And Lovington's free throw shooting was
13 of 23.
13 of 23.
Of course.
They really didn't do themselves any favor tonight by that statistic right there. So they really lost it with turnovers, with lack of rebounding, both offensively, defensively, and in not making those points at the free throw line. Those were some crucial points that separated them from Hobbs tonight. But Lovington, even with that, Lovington's still looking very sharp and very good tonight. And Jeffrey, Ortiz, Olivas staying up and with it as much as they could to try to match Aaron Mora with the rebounding. And it's tough when you've got somebody so capable and so good, and they've got more than one somebody on that Hobbs team. It is tough to stay within. Lovington did for the longest time in this game tonight, and then Hobbs stretched it out, but Lovington did not lose by that much in the end.
No, they did not. Of course, the Cats will have the day off, and they will be right back here at Wildcat Gym on Saturday to take on the Dexter Demons. You'll be flying solo on that one, Dawn.
Right.
I'll be heading over for the girls' half of that game,
and
that'll be right here. Your
yes.
game, the boys' game, will be on Z94 KZOR quickly because they're telling us we've got to wrap.
Exactly, and I hope to see a lot of good three-point shooting again, like we did, especially from Sandoval and. We had some really good displays of that. Henson, Hilliard, Sandoval. So let's hope that this Lovington team is just as spirited, just as quick, and just as capable when they hit the floor on Saturday, and just as motivated as well.
And, of course, tomorrow night we will have the Lovington girls for you. That game will only be available on the Lovington Sports tab at HobbsAmerica.com as the Lady Cats travel to Carlsbad to take on the Cave Girls, even though Eddy County is now turquoise and they are supposed to let all media in.
Mm-hmm.
They are still refusing any other than their own pay video service, but we will bring you the audio action on the Lovington Sports tab at HobbsAmerica.com tomorrow night at about 7 o'clock. So with that, my friends, we will put a wrap on this one. The Lovington Wildcats play here on Z94 KZOR. Today's game was proudly brought to you by Nowell Pharmacy, Devon Energy, Empire Services, and the Lovington Schools. Wildcat basketball on Z94 KZOR also brought to you by the First American Bank of Lovington, General Welding, Lovington Auto Supply, the Lea County Electric Cooperative, and Bob's Thriftway. For Evie Stuber in studio engineering and producing for Dawn Morgan, I'm TJ Miracle saying so long from Wildcat Gym. This has been an exclusive presentation of Noel Mark Digital, One Radio Square, and Z94 KZOR Sports. Have a great night, everybody. Now back to today's best music mix on Z94 KZOR.